Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of a pair of shoes I've had a lot of requests for, and that is the Puma evoPOWER 2. This is the first takedown model in the brand new evoPOWER line from Puma. You can see inside the box all you get are the shoes themselves, and given that this is of course a takedown model, it retails for significantly less than the top-end evoPOWER 1 at $120 US. Now with that being said, $120 is still on the steeper side of things as far as takedown models go, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, is this worth the money? How close is it to that top-end evoPOWER 1? And without actually having worn it, I have to say I'm not disappointed with this shoe, and I thought I would be. The quality definitely seems to be there, and there are some pretty significant differences between the top-end model and the first takedown here, but for the most part, the quality that you seem to get here, if you really want something from the new evoPOWER line, something that's going to have that evoPOWER sensation, and you don't have the money for the top-end evoPOWER 1, the evoPOWER 2 seems to be a pretty decent option in terms of overall quality. Now, as far as visual differences go, you can tell that it looks very similar. The Soleplate and stud pattern, down to the materials, are pretty much identical to that top-end evoPOWER 1. The major difference here is going to be the synthetic itself, which I'll talk about in just a second. But like I said, visually it appears very similar to that top-end evoPOWER 1. You can see that there is, of course, evoPOWER 2 branding on the lateral side. And then moving on to the medial side, this is the most noticeable difference in that there isn't actually an external support cage here. Instead of being a fused-on piece of material, it's actually a different material altogether. A little bit stiffer, not quite as soft as the rest of the upper. Still serves the same purpose of supporting the midfoot area of the shoe, but like I said, not exactly the same as what you're going to find on that top-end model. Now, in terms of the performance features and the quality of the materials you're getting here, it's not the same Adapt-Lite synthetic, it's not the same one-way stretch synthetic you're going to find on the evoPOWER 1, and it's very noticeable when you put the shoes on versus that top-end model. Instead, what you get is a synthetic that is a little bit thicker. As you can see, the quality is not quite as premium feeling as what you're going to get from the evoPOWER 1, but it doesn't feel cheap either, which is something that is a really big positive regarding this particular shoe, because a lot of synthetic takedowns can tend to feel a little bit cheap, and I don't get that upon first impression with the evoPOWER 2. It has that same kind of plush leather-like quality about it, which is something that I really liked from the top-end model, so I'm glad they maintained a similar type of feel going down to the evoPOWER 2. As far as the AccuFoam pads go, you can see that that texturing is still there, and it pretty much is the same layout. The only difference here is that the AccuFoam, to me, feels a little bit softer on the evoPOWER 2 versus the evoPOWER 1. I'm not sure if that's because this is a slightly thicker synthetic material, but for the most part, I think that the touch and feel that the evoPOWER 2 will provide on the ball will be not exactly the same, but definitely very similar to that of the top-end model, which is important if you are looking for something that has the same feel of the top-end model without paying the top-end model price. You have that same off-center lacing system, the same memory foam inserts in the tongue, which is something that I really like about this particular shoe. The exact same cut in the heel, that same cutout around the Achilles tendon area, so you get that nice amount of flexibility, which does make for a very comfortable feel. And even the heel liner is made from pretty much the same exact synthetic material. It doesn't have the same pattern on it, but it feels very, very similar and should provide a similar amount of comfort. As far as insoles go, it is a little bit different. You can see you have a mesh liner on top, your evoPOWER 2 branding, and it's pretty much just one single layer of foam. You have a little bit of extra, kind of a thick layer of foam in the forefoot and heel, and it's actually a pretty hefty insole that provides some really, really good step-in comfort, something that I am very happy with on this particular shoe. Moving on to the Soleplate and stud pattern, this is where I'm a little bit let down. You can see that you get the exact same P-back Soleplate that you're going to find on the top-end evoPOWER 1, the exact same stud pattern. All the colors and materials are identical. You have that gradual stability frame, but when you try to bend the shoe this way, you'll notice that it's very, very stiff. It doesn't have that same flexibility as the top-end evoPOWER 1, and you might ask yourself, why is that? It has the exact same sole plate that's designed to have that natural flexibility about it. And if you look inside the shoe, you can see that they have placed kind of a piece of, it's not plastic, but it's that very hard material that you'll commonly find in pairs of soccer shoes, generally the little bit cheaper ones like the evoPOWER 2. And you can see that they intentionally made the sole plate stiff and rigid. It doesn't have that flexibility, whereas if you look at the evoPOWER 1, this is the evoPOWER 1, you can see it does not have that same piece of material, so it has unrestricted flexibility along with the one-way stretch microfiber synthetic upper. So if you're looking for that kind of flex back feedback from the evoPOWER 2, you're not going to get that. You can only get it as of right now from the top end evoPOWER 1. So a little bit of a letdown, but nonetheless the stud pattern on this particular shoe performs great in my opinion. If you want to check out my review of the evoPOWER 1, I'll leave a link in the description to that as well, if you want more details on the overall performance. But other than that, that's pretty much all you need to know as far as tech specs go regarding the evoPOWER 2. And move on next to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. Given that the top end evoPOWER 1 weighs in at around 7.4 ounces, you probably would expect a similar lightweight construction on the evoPOWER 2, and you definitely get that from this particular model. While it isn't quite as light as the top end model, it still will offer a pretty lightweight feel, and I'm actually going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.25 ounces. So they're a little bit less than an ounce more in comparison to that top end evoPOWER 1. And the little bit of extra weight, if you ask me, is all in that extra piece they put to stiffen the sole plate. If that was not there, I think the evoPOWER 2 would be much closer in weight to that of its big brother, the evoPOWER 1. So certainly this shoe will not weigh you down. It's relatively lightweight as far as takedowns go. And with that being said, let's move on to the on-feet portion of this video so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and what the sizing is like. Alright, here's a look at the evoPOWER 2's on feet, and from right out of the box, this shoe is very, very comfortable. The synthetic upper is soft. It moves very naturally with your feet, but as far as comparing the overall feel to that of the evoPOWER 1, the evoPOWER 2 doesn't have that same extreme amount of flexibility in all directions, and this is due to the stiffer sole plate and the stiffer upper. It's not a one-way stretch synthetic. So for that reason, these feel a lot more normal in comparison to the evoPOWER 1, I guess is the best way of putting it, but definitely not bad. It's a very comfortable shoe, and if you can imagine an evoPOWER 1 with a more traditional construction, with more traditional materials, that's what you get with the evoPOWER 2. In terms of overall width, it's a very similar cut to that of the evoPOWER 1. Again, you just don't have that same stretchable material to the upper itself, so for that reason, it's not quite as wide, I find. But for the most part, it will be suitable for most foot types, just as long as you don't have excessively wide feet. And again, keep in mind it is a synthetic upper, so it's not going to stretch width-wise. The way it feels from right out of the box is the way it's going to fit for the majority of its lifespan. Another thing that is unique to Puma when it comes to overall fit is that it does have that slight anatomic shaping about it, where it comes to a bit of a point at the big toe and then curls around to the natural shape of your foot. This is something that does bother some people. It's not very extreme on the evoPOWER models. It's actually something that I quite like. It's just something that I thought was worth noting because some people don't like this at all. In terms of sizing, just like the top end evoPOWER 1, these run about a half size small. So instead of wearing my normal size 9 US, I went up to a 9.5, and the fit in the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of evoPOWERs, no matter which model it is, I would strongly recommend going half a size up. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the Puma evoPOWER 2. For the most part, I think that this is a half-decent takedown model from Puma. I'm a little bit disappointed that they intentionally stiffened the sole plate, but for the most part, the quality seems to be there. And if you really don't have the budget for the top-end evoPOWER 1, and you want something that is going to be at least somewhat similar when it comes to overall feel, the evoPOWER 2 definitely will deliver. With that being said, I still think that there are better options at the $120 price tag, but again, it's up to you as far as what you feel comfortable with and what you really want to try out. Now, if you guys are interested in picking up these for yourself, there will be a link in the description to the review page on my website, where you will not only find the full written review when it's done in about a month's time or so, but you also find buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes, allowing you to pick these up slightly below that $120 retail. Other than that, if you have any questions regarding this shoe at all, or any suggestions for other takedown models you'd like to see me review, feel free to leave a comment down below. I definitely will get an answer out to you, and I'm always open to hearing what you guys want to see as far as as content goes. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.